Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our Walking Dead Season 10 Episode 9 reaction. We have made it to the second part of what I think is probably an underrated season of this show. And we have an episode that has cave drama, whisperer drama, people dropping trowel that I did not think would be dropping trowel on The Walking Dead anytime soon.
Here we are.
Hey, it's a show that likes to keep you on your toes, and apparently Michonne is just off traveling somewhere because I couldn't bother to show her at all in this episode. We'll go through everything that happened, but before we do anything else, if you enjoy this discussion, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates that we've got coming up. Let's just start with this. I understand that the cave is supposed to be dark. I get it.
Wasn't it like watching that episode of Game of Thrones with all the White Walker fights, like where you're like, what's happening here? I can't see. That is exactly what it felt like.
Internet commenters, I will speak directly because I get it. I know I am being stupid and irrational, but it's just, I found myself at times, and my vision's not good in the first place, but just sort of being like, oh, who is this person? Oh, because it wasn't like I didn't know the people who were there. It was just sort of like, trying to keep track of everything was hard, but I guess that's the point. They're really going for immersion in this storyline on The Walking Dead.
Listen, there are ways that you can film dark while still letting us know what's going on. You can find ways to give us light sources. I mean, it doesn't need to be so dark. I mean, my vision's not as bad as yours. Yeah. My vision's not great either, but I was having difficulty as well.
Well, here's the good news. Daryl and Carol are still alive. Not that I think anybody would have really thought otherwise. They're not going to kill one of these characters in the first part of the second half of Season 10. Especially with the giant pile of money Norman Reedus now has with that new contract. But
yeah, I can't see them ever going.
No, but it did feel at least like this was a fairly high-stakes operation to get them out of there.
Yeah, I'll say this, that for what I was able to see out of this, I really enjoyed it. That this was sort of, I know there was other stuff going on, but that the majority of this episode was this operation to get out of this cave, get on the other side of this giant horde. There were a lot of really great moments that had me wondering, is somebody gonna go? Now that, besides Carol and Daryl, everybody else is really on the table right now. So you never know.
Yeah, and I feel like they played it well. It felt like there was a real chance that none of them could get out. It felt like there were zombie threats kind of lurking around every corner. And, I mean, we do have aftermath of it because, Connie and Magna, they're still presumably stuck in there. And, while certain aspects of this rescue operation are successful, at least for Daryl and Carol, I don't know if they're dead for sure, but this is kind of like a Glenn Dumpster situation here, though, in that we have not seen officially a dead body as of yet. There is still hope.
Yeah, and having Daryl say, well, obviously the walkers got in here somehow, so there's got to be another entrance, is probably true. I don't think this is the last that we've seen them. And I really hope not. I like Daryl and Connie. I enjoy their friendship. I enjoy their growing sort of relationship, friendship, whatever's going on between them. It's been cool to see somebody besides just Carol starting to form a bond with him.
And maybe that speaks a little bit to Daryl also sort of growing as a person and trying to form more conversations, because I mean, we've got Carol and we've got Beth from way back when at this point, but it's not like Daryl has sort of established a lot of these close bonds. I think losing Connie would be hard for him. I don't think he's going to give up on this, though it's kind of problematic given their escape route. In order to do this, they've probably also just basically sent a metaphorical flare out into the sky of, hey everyone, here's where we are, come kill us now.
Yeah. The thing that I actually really liked about how this episode ended, or at least how things ended with Daryl and Carol, because Daryl has really come out to Carol to say, listen, I need to be able to trust you. That conversation was really important because Carol is always someone who has gone off on her own and has done her own thing. She has been this type of person for a while now.
Yeah.
But this, to me, feels different. She has lost a child before. This was sort of okay, she has risen from what has happened from that. She had the kingdom, so a safe place to live, or what felt safe. She had her relationship with Ezekiel and her husband, and this very meaningful relationship. Then she had Henry, her son. Like, everything was starting to feel, she had gone from leave me alone, I'm living in this house, nobody bother me, to being part of a community, opening herself up, like having real life and not just surviving anymore. So to lose all of it, because it's all gone,
Yeah.
I understand where she is and why she has this tunnel vision of, I need to kill Alpha, that is what is going to happen, nobody can stop me. And she's even willing to sort of continuously mislead Daryl, where she's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll be all right, and then take off, and no, that was the last time, and now I have a stick of dynamite. Like, things are getting really intense for Daryl, because the person he really trusts the most is Carol, and she's not being entirely honest with him. So when they actually got out of there and she broke down and was like, this is my fault, I can't, I need you to just tell me that you know it's my fault, and him saying nothing was exactly the way that it needed to play out. Like, she had kind of just broken the bridge a little bit in the trust there. So it was good to see him at that point be like, you know what, for right now, no, I'm not giving you what you want.
Yeah, I think that's important. Daryl has a right to certainly be upset about a lot of different things that have unfolded over time, and It's been kind of a change up for their relationship in a lot of ways, because Daryl is more known to being Mr. Distant a lot of the time, and it's a change in the dynamic, and I think that this circumstance is going to impact Carol. I mean, she knew before this, obviously, that her actions had consequences. You know, she's a smart woman, but this is a sort of situation where it is just like coming right at you and staring you in the face, where all of a sudden Connie and Magna, they're not on the outside with you anymore.
No, and I mean, I understand that they could have let Carol go off on her own and everyone else would be safe, but that's not going to happen. They are part of each other's lives. They are family. They are friends. They are surviving together, and that's how they've been able to survive, is being together. So even though I know there's argument out there that people are like, oh, well, they could have just let her go do her own thing. They made their choice to go after her. Sure, they made their choice to go after her, but were they really going to be like, oh, well, sorry for your luck, Carol, we'll catch you on the next side? Like, that's not going to be a thing that's going to happen.
No, it's not. And this is more indicative of the way these people operate. And I'm curious to see what happens from here, because it is sort of like, okay, Daryl and Carol, they could go on sort of a rescue operation to try to help those who are still stuck. But then they also now have the potential of a lot of threats coming their way in the aftermath of the dynamite. So I
still feel like Daryl's probably right. Like, there had to be a way to get all of those walkers in there, and it certainly wasn't one by one sliding them through this tiny little tunnel. I mean, they found another way in too. They just dropped into it. So there has to be another way to get in. I feel like Carol will probably want to be part of that rescue mission. At least I would hope that she would want to be, since she is partially responsible for everybody coming after her. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I don't think that they are dead yet. So I think there is still opportunity to get them out. At least I really hope so.
I hope so. And okay, we've put it off for long enough. We have to talk about Negan and Alpha. We'll all get through this together, everyone. This was just bizarre. I mean, I guess if we are in Negan's head, he needs to infiltrate the Whisperers for whatever reason that may be. Maybe they're going in a comics direction with this story. Maybe they're not. But he's trying to get closer to them. it makes sense that he would do whatever he could to sow some seeds of doubt and maybe point the finger at someone, aka Gamma.
Yep.
And then I guess it makes
And he's not wrong.
No, that's the smart thing about Negan. He may be incredibly unlikable in so many ways, but he is shrewd and he is kind of capable of reading situations.
Yeah, he made a move based on something that he really felt was true. So that way when it panned out to be true, then it really fell that, okay, this is another building block. We're able to trust him a little bit more. He is able to kind of see some stuff that maybe I'm not able to see if, I was Alpha and thinking that way, because she is very close to the situation. So she may not be able to see what's going on, and she didn't, and he was able to, and he was rewarded.
Yes. He was rewarded with quite possibly one of the weirdest scenes I have ever seen on this show. I mean, Alpha said that he's a crass person. This is, I guess, a crass reward.
Yeah, it is, and it's a very sort of interesting spot, because I don't think that Negan really wanted to be in this spot. He didn't really want to go in this situation. But if we remember back to when Negan was king of his kingdom, he had a whole bunch of wives that didn't want to be in that position either. But when somebody's in power, and this is the way that it was for Negan's crew, then people are doing what they can to survive. And at this point, Negan wants to be part of this crew for whatever reason. I don't think he actually wants to be with them. I think he's just trying to figure something else out with them. I can't see that this is the choice he wants to make here. But this is part of it. This is going to have to be part of the play, and he decided to be part of the play. So now we're talking about it.
Yeah, there you go, Negan. You found a way to survive. You because you probably know this situation well enough because of your own history. You were just like, all right, let's do this. Let's get this done. Let's all be able to move on to some other stuff. Like, I just want to see more of Negan and Beta in the same scene together, because those two going toe-to-toe is fun.
Yeah, it is fun, and the conversations that they've been kind of having, even with the little amount that Beta talks, have been really interesting. I actually find that their dynamic I'm enjoying a lot more than Negan and Alpha or Negan and anyone else. And Negan is a character that has never really been my favorite character. So for me to even be able to say that, and that we're moving into this direction where I'm like, okay, I'm finding this a little more different, a little more engaging. I'm kind of seeing a little bit something else going on. This has been a very good season.
It's been a good season of sort of focusing and honing in on specific people. And, I mean, the truth is, The Walking Dead's still an enormous show. There's a ton of people beyond even Michonne who we didn't see in the episode tonight. But I think we'll get a better sense of them coming up maybe in episode 10, maybe a little bit later on. But I think at least when it comes to resolving the cliffhanger, the zombie horde, and getting an update on what's going on with Negan and Alpha, it's a successful episode. It's not the broadest episode they've ever done, but it achieves what it set out to do.
Yeah, I liked that the stuff in the cave, there was some really high stakes stuff there. They've moved away from, we're on a supply run, something's going to happen on the supply run, and now the supply run's over. It was nice to have something like this where there's high stakes, need to escape, lots of different things happening to get to that end result, and now we have two people that didn't make it out.
Yeah.
The stakes were high.
Well, that's a good chance to hear from you guys. Do you think that we have seen the end of Connie and Magna? Is there hope for them? What do you want to see with a lot of these other characters across the board moving forward? Share in the comments below, and if you did enjoy this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you here next time.